This is not self-help. This is healing. Body, nervous system, wholeness. Energy medicine, Ayurveda-inspired living, herbal wisdom. Learn, heal, and be together. Wholeness isn't fixing, it's integrating. Evolve Global 22's Healing Light Studio. Understanding begins here. Healing happens here. Wholeness lives within you. Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is month 3, week 1, and we are talking about the C in our Become framework, which is connection. Our weekly theme is relearning safe connection, starting with self. Connection is not just about relationships with other people. It's about relationships with yourself, your body, your emotions, your needs, your voice, and your capacity to feel safe enough to be present in life. For many people, connection has been confused with pleasing, overgiving, staying quiet, being needed, being useful, and abandoning self to keep peace. So this week is not about telling people to just get connected more. It is about helping people understand why connection can feel difficult, why disconnection can feel familiar, how healing allows connection to become safer, and how reconnection begins within. Today is Monday, the first day of the first week of month 3's Healing Circle. What is connection really? Again, welcome. Welcome to a brand new month in our Become Healing journey. We are entering the C in Become, as I said, and the C stands for connection. Connection is one of those words people use all the time, but many of us have never really slowed down enough to ask, what does connection actually mean? What does it feel like? What has it meant in my life? And what if what I learned as connection was actually survival? This, my friends, is where we begin tonight. This week is about relearning safe connection. Not forced, not fake, not high performance, not smile and pretend types of connection. We are talking about real connection, the kind that lets you stay present, the kind that lets you stay honest, the kind that does not require you to disappear in order to belong. So tonight I want to start simple, not with pressure, not with analysis, but with truth. A lot of us have not been disconnected because we are cold, difficult, or broken. A lot of us have been disconnected because disconnection became protection. And when you understand that, you stop judging yourself so harshly. Connection often is understood. Many people think connection means closeness at all costs, always being available, being needed by others, making people happy, blending in, staying agreeable, proving love through self-sacrifice. But this is not healthy connection. This is often survival-based relating. Real connection is something deeper. Connection is being present with yourself, being able to feel what is true, being able to stay grounded in relationship, being seen without shrinking, being honest without fear, being close without losing yourself. That means connection begins long before another person enters the room. It begins with whether you are connected to you. Can you hear yourself? Can you feel yourself? Can you notice your needs? Can you remain present when emotion rises? Can you stay with yourself instead of abandoning yourself? This is why we are beginning month 3 here, because many people are trying to build connection outwardly while they remain disconnected inwardly. And if you are disconnected from yourself, even loving relationships can feel unsafe, confusing, draining, or hard to trust. Tonight's truth is this: connection is not just being with others, connection is being with yourself in the presence of life. That, my friends, is the beginning of healing. Now let's get right into this with our learning points. Learning point number 1: connection starts within, not with others. One of the most important shifts we can make is realizing that connection is not something that begins out there. It begins inside, in here. Before you can feel safe with another person, you have to begin building a safe relationship with your own inner world. That means noticing what you feel, noticing what you need, noticing when you shut down, noticing when you override yourself, and noticing when you shapeshift to keep connection. Some people have spent so much of their life focused on how others feel that they no longer know what they themselves feel. That is disconnection from self, and it often happens gradually. As it happens, you learn to stay quiet, minimize your needs, anticipate everyone else, perform strength, avoid vulnerability, and keep moving so you do not have to feel. So when we say connection starts within, what we mean is healing begins when you become willing to turn toward yourself again, not with criticism, but with compassion. Learning point number 2: a lot of people did not learn that connection meant I get to be fully myself. They learned I am loved when I am good, I am accepted when I'm helpful, I am safe when I stay quiet, I belong when I do not cause problems, and I am valuable when I carry everyone else. That means connection got tied to performance. So instead of asking, can I be real here? You learn to ask, what version of me is safest here? That, my friends, is exhausting. And over time, it creates a painful split. The outer self that functions and the inner self that goes unseen. This is why some people can be surrounded by others and still feel deeply alone, because being around people is not the same thing as being connected. If you must perform to stay loved, you may be included, but you are not deeply met. Healing asks, what if connection did not require performance? What if belonging did not require self-abandonment? Learning point number 3: disconnection can feel normal when it has been your protection. This is important, my friends. Many people do not even realize they are disconnected because disconnection has become normal. Disconnection can look like numbness, overbusyness, chronic productivity, emotional flatness, difficulty receiving, trouble trusting, feeling distant from your own body, feeling lonely but also pulling away. Sometimes people will say, I do not know what I feel. I do not know what I need. I do not know why closeness feels hard. I just want to be left alone. That does not always mean that they don't care. Often it means their system learned that connection came with pain, pressure, unpredictability, or disappointment. So the system does what it was designed to do: protect. And one way it protects is through disconnection. When you understand this, your healing becomes gentler, because instead of saying, what is wrong with me, you start asking, what happened that made disconnection feel safer than connection? That question changes everything, my friends. Learning point number 4: the body decides what feels safe enough to connect. Connection is not just an idea, it is a physiological experience. You can tell yourself this relationship is safe, this person is kind, I should trust this, and still feel tense, guarded, distant, or flooded. Why? Because the body has memory. The nervous system is constantly asking, am I safe here? Can I soften here? Do I need to protect myself? Will closeness cost me something? That means connection is not built through logic alone. It is built through repeated experiences of safety. That is why trust cannot be forced. That is why closeness cannot be demanded. That is why healing takes time. The body must learn little by little. I can stay present here. I do not have to disappear here. I can be myself here. I can feel without collapsing. I can receive without fear. That is connection becoming embodied. Learning point number 5. Connection is something we can relearn. This is the hope in tonight's teaching. If you learned survival connection, you can learn safe connection. If you learn to perform, you can learn to be present. If you learned to disconnect, you can learn to return. If you learned to abandon yourself, you can learn to stay with yourself. Healing does not erase your past, but it can change your relationship with connection. You can learn to recognize when you leave yourself, to pause before overgiving, to notice when you are performing, to become more honest about your needs, to build relationships that allow your full presence, and to create inner conditions where connection feels less threatening. This is not overnight work. It is sacred work, and it starts with awareness. Here are some real life examples of how this might look. So here are some ways this shows up in everyday life. You are with people, laughing and talking, but inwardly you feel far away. That is not failure. That may be disconnection. Another example, you answer, I'm fine, automatically, even when you are not. That may be a learned form of self-protection. Another one, you are the one everyone leans on, but you rarely let anyone truly see you. That may be performance-based protection or performance-based connection. Another example, you crave closeness, but when someone gets too close, you pull back. That may mean your system associates connection with vulnerability that once felt unsafe. And the last example, you keep yourself busy all the time and do not stop long enough to feel. That may be disconnection disguised as productivity. These patterns are not here to shame you. They are here to be understood. Now let's look at this from the perspective of our power of 3. From an energy medicine perspective, connection is deeply related to flow. When we feel safe, supported, and present, energy moves more openly. We feel warmer, softer, more available, more grounded in ourselves. When we are disconnected, energy often becomes constricted. We may feel closed off, fatigued, emotionally armored, or scattered. Connection is not just emotional, it's energetic. You can often sense when someone is present and open, and you can also sense when they are withdrawn or guarded. Healing asks, where is my energy closed in order to protect me? And what helps it soften again? From an Ayurveda perspective, connection can be deeply affected by an imbalance. So when we talk about our Ayurvedic body types, everybody has a dominant body type usually, or they're equal in 2 or more of the 3 body types. But nevertheless, you can be imbalanced within your system and your body type. So for example, when Vata is aggravated, a person may feel ungrounded, anxious, overstimulated, scattered, emotionally distant, unable to settle into closeness. And remember, we have all 3 body types within us. We just tend to be dominant in one or Some people are equal in 2 or more. But anyways, the knowing your body type is extremely important. This can make all of this imbalance. If you're imbalanced in your body type, this can make connection harder because the system does not feel steady enough to remain present. When healing brings more grounding, warmth, routine, and steadiness, connection often becomes easier because the body no longer feels like it is floating in instability. Connection needs inner steadiness. And the only way that you can achieve inner steadiness is if you have a balanced dosha or body type. Let's look at it from herbal wisdom. Herbal wisdom reminds us that the body often needs support in order to soften. Nervine herbs and calming plant allies can support relaxation, emotional ease, nervous system steadiness, better rest, and a softer internal state. And when the body softens, the heart often becomes more available. This is one reason why I integrate plants, ritual, and intentional support into healing, because healing is not just mental work. Sometimes the body needs help receiving safety. And that leads me to my essential oil spotlight, which I'm starting to add in from tonight. So let me share my screen with you so that I can share the essential oil spotlight with you. We are going to talk about lavender, soft and sweet. Tonight's essential oil spotlight is lavender. It is one of my favorites. Lavender is one of the most loved oils for a reason. The benefits of lavender: it supports calm, helps ease tension, promotes emotional soothing, encourages relaxation, supports rest and settling, and helps create an atmosphere of softness and safety. Lavender connects beautifully to tonight's teaching because tonight is about understanding that connection begins when the system feels safe enough to soften. When a person is tense, guarded, overstimulated, or emotionally overloaded, true connection can feel hard. Lavender can support the body in shifting out of that heightened state and into a more settled experience. This is why lavender fits so well with the topic of connection, because connection is not just about wanting closeness, it is about whether your body can receive it. Lavender reminds us that softness is not weakness. Softness is often the doorway to connection. And if you look at lavender essential oil, if you go do your research, some of the primary benefits are: it offers a soothing aroma, it promotes mental relaxation and support, restful sleep when taken internally, it calms occasional discomfort, and also in aromatherapy, it really is really soothing and helps me to sleep. So there you go. Lavender essential oil is one of my favorites. Whoops. Let me stop sharing. Okay, bear with me, guys. There we go. Now we're back. Okay, so know that I will post a link in the description where you can get lavender if you want it, and how you can get it. But lavender is beautiful. I love it. It's one of my favorites. Now let's talk about our functional support spotlight, since we are talking about connection. And let me go back to sharing my screen, and I have something to show you. Let's talk about functional support. This is our functional support spotlight: Agara Café and Matcha Agara. These are functional coffee is Agara Café, and Matcha Agara is a functional tea, a functional matcha tea. Tonight, I also want to connect this teaching to Agara Café, and Matcha Agara. Both are part of my supportive daily ritual, and they should be a part of everybody's, in my opinion, professionally, unless you have a medical reason or take medications and the doctor says you cannot. Why this connects to this topic. Connection, my friends, requires presence, and presence can be difficult when you are foggy, depleted, overstimulated, emotionally scattered, or mentally all over the place. Agara Cafe and Matcha Agara fit into this conversation because they can support clear thinking, more steady energy, more intentional presence, a calm focus, a gentle sense of support for daily function. This matters because healing is lived in real life. It is hard to be present for yourself, for your body, and for your relationships, or for your healing journey when you feel mentally and physically off all the time. Safe connection requires presence, and presence often needs support. Agara Cafe may be the support some people use in the morning for grounded energy and focus. Matcha Agara may be a beautiful option for those who want that same functional support in tea form. Both can become part of a ritual of returning to yourself. And I use this, as I said, daily. It's one of the best things I have entered into my daily rituals. Once again, the links and everything are in the description and will be in the first comment. Now let's go back. Let's see. Let's go back here for a moment. Okay, now, my friends, thank you so much. This is the first time I used the screen share in this format. So thank you for being patient with me. Now our reflection questions. If you have not started journaling, please start journaling. Start journaling and reflecting. That gets you deep inside. So your questions. Number one, what did connection look like in my early life? Number two, did I learn that connection was safe, conditional, or unpredictable? Number three, when do I feel most disconnected from myself? Number four, what parts of me come forward in order to stay accepted? Number five, do I tend to perform connection rather than experience it? And I'm going to throw another one in there, number 6 tonight. What helps me feel safe, softer, safer, and more present? Tonight, my friends, was not about fixing anything. It was about naming something important. Connection is not just about being around people. It is about being present enough to stay with yourself and safe enough to remain real in relationship. This is sacred work, and many of us are only beginning to learn it now. So let tonight be gentle. Just notice where do I feel connected? Where do I feel disconnected? And where have I learned to perform instead of be? Awareness is a beautiful beginning. Before we close, I want to share a few ways to keep going, that you can keep going deeper with this work. Our healing circle on Patreon. If this work speaks to you and you want a deeper place to land, come join us inside the healing circle on Patreon. It's only $7.99 a month. This is where we go deeper with teachings, reflection, support, and ongoing healing work in a more rooted community. Visit Evolve Global Healing's boutique. You can also explore Evolve Global 22's Healing Boutique, where I share curated healing supports, including products and tools that connect to the work we are doing in real life. Just go to Evolve Global 22's website. The link is here, of course, and in the first comment. And then, my friends, something that is brand new that I added to the website: explore aligned income opportunities. And if you are in a season where you are looking not only for healing support, but also for a path toward aligned income, you can also explore that with me. That is for those who feel drawn to wellness, lifestyle, and building in a way that aligns with healing and purpose. And on that note, my friends, you have a great night ahead. Peace, love, and light always. Remember, healing lives here. Wholeness lives within you, and I will see you in the circle. Hello, everybody. I wanted to come on and do a special short video. It's probably going to be 10 minutes or less to let you know what is going on here at Evolve Global 22's Healing Light Studio and Healing Circle and exciting things. I've been working on this for more than a year, and we are finally at the place where all is complete. So I'm just taking a few minutes to share something really important with you. And you also have the screen shared in front of you. That is our new website. Evolve Global 22 has grown, and it's not just what we offer, but it's clarity, direction, and purpose. Over the past few months, I've been doing deep work behind the scenes, refining, simplifying, and really asking, what do people truly need right now? What actually supports healing, stability, and growth in real life. And from that, everything just exploded and evolved. So now let's talk about the why. Evolve Global 22 has always been about one core truth. Healing lives here and wholeness lives within you. But what I realized is this: people don't just need inspiration, they need structure, access, and simplicity. So I reorganized everything to make it easier to understand, easier to access, and easier to actually use in daily life. This is no longer just a collection of ideas. It is now a clear pathway. So let's talk about the new structure. Let me walk you through what that looks like now. Everything inside Evolve Global 22 is now organized into clear pathways. First, we have the healing circle. And if you go to the website, you can see right here, the healing circle, click on that, and bam, that comes up. And this is where really everything begins. This is the heart of Evolve Global 22. This is where it all starts. It's a steady place to land, a real life support system. Nightly, we have live healing conversations Monday through Friday. They are free. And then in Patreon, in our Evolve Global 22's Healing Circle there, we have, which is only $7.99 a month, we have master classes and morning anchors and guidance and support for you. This is for the person who says, I just need support. I need a place to start. Then, my friends, take a look at the next tab, which is Evolve Global 22's Healing Boutique. And here we have our Healing Boutique, which I have started adding and reorganizing our products. But let me explain first. So in the Healing Boutique, these are tools for daily support. I've curated and simplified everything here. This includes the Power of Three collection, which are products organized under energy medicine, Ayurveda, inspired living, and herbal support. I now only use doTERRA essential oils in my products and individually. They're available retail or wholesale. I even got that in place just within this past week. And it's really a decision I made because I spent almost 2 years. I've been using doTERRA oils for 2 decades or more, but I spent the last year or so testing between different companies and different oils. And without question, for many reasons, doTERRA's oils are at a completely another level, and the science is behind them. I can see everything that I need to see to make sure of that everything that's being said is truth. I can track the oils, I can track the production, I can track, their sourcing and all of that. So, and then my experience. I mean, I really did testing on myself, and hands down, doTERRA essential oils are of the highest quality, and I got the best results on many different things in my testing. So that is here. And then Agara Life with Agara Café, a functional coffee for energy, clarity, and metabolism support, and much more. I just put that all in place within the last week or two. We did do a soft launch of the Agara Café. There are other products as well coming, but that is there too. That is a supplement that I use. I use it almost exclusively unless I have a reason to use something else. Let's say I start feeling like I'm coming down with a cold or something like that. Then I add products, but I've always done that. And another reason that this has all come together is because I reflected upon and journaled about my own experience and where I am and where I came from and all that I've done over the past decade as far as research, as far as my usage of various products, etc. These are not random products. They are intentional tools to support your body, emotions, and daily life. And that's how I use them, and now I bring them to you. Then I have added aligned income pathways. This is something I've become very passionate about recently. I don't just want to make it on my own, so to speak, right? Make it on my own. I want to bring people with me. I want other people to be able to achieve their life dreams because healing is important, but so is financial stability and independence. And it's becoming more important as the economy becomes more difficult and more challenging, especially here in the US. So now there's a clear pathway for you. And I forgot to go. Let me change this. Explore aligned income. You have all the explanation and links that you need to gain information there. So there's a clear pathway for you to get products at wholesale pricing, share what you love, build income in alignment with wellness if you want to do so. And for those who are really ready and have an entrepreneurial business spirit, there's also a leadership pathway for building a team and growing something very, very meaningful. And what makes this difference, my friends, is Evolve Global 22 is different for this reason. It's not about quick fixes. It's not about just making a sale. It's not about just making money. This is not about pressure or about selling at all. Honestly, it's really not. I don't really feel like I'm a salesman, and I'd be a very poor one if I ever tried to be. This is about support before insight, regulation before change, alignment before income. The income comes, believe you me, money comes following all of the work. So I don't chase money. I chase outcomes for myself and for people in the healing sphere and wellness sphere so that people can elevate and be more healthy, more well, and achieve their dreams. Everything is connected. Your healing, your daily habits, your environment, your financial life. It all matters. And now it's in one place. So this is for the following people or person. This space is for you if you've been strong for a long time, you're tired of trying everything and you still feel stuck, you want real support, not just information, you're ready to grow gently but intentionally. And it's also for someone who wants more stability, more freedom, more alignment in how you live and earn. There's a space for you here. I invite you, let me go back here, whoops. I invite you to come join the Healing Circle first on Patreon. As I said, it's only $7.99 a month, but there is so much there. Try a product. If you want my personal advice, try Agara Café. That functional coffee is by far top of the line. That is why I am standing on it. I am supporting it. and I have become an ambassador of it. I have not seen any functional coffee that has the ingredients in it that it does, so that it is really a holistic supplement in one. And of course, we all love those of us who are coffee lovers love coffee, and so that's there too, right? But also, I have many people who use it that are not coffee drinkers. And coming soon, or actually, it's already out. I don't have any yet in my own personal supply. Is matcha agara, matcha tea for those tea drinkers. So please try. If you try any product, try first, and explore our website at www.evolveglobal22usa.com. You have it right here, the Healing Light Studio. I've put it up here as an example for you. And just take one step, check it out. You don't have to do everything at once. Check it out, join the healing circle, and try one product. I suggest and recommend Agara Café. I want to say I'm really proud of what this has become. And more than anything, I'm grateful to build something that truly supports people in real life. Thank you for being here. And as always, healing lives here. Wholeness lives within you. And I hope to see you in the circle. This is not self-help. This is healing. Body, nervous system, wholeness. Energy medicine, Ayurveda-inspired living, herbal wisdom. Learn, heal, and be together. Wholeness isn't fixing, it's integrating. Evolve Global 22's Healing Light Studio. Understanding begins here. Healing happens here. Wholeness lives within you. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. It is Tuesday, March 24th. This is Evolve Global 22's Healing Circle, and we are in month 3, week 1. We're talking about connection, and let's get started. So let's see. We met yesterday, and we talked about connection with self. And tonight, my friends, we are talking about why connection feels so hard. Once again, welcome back to everyone. Our new month, we asked yesterday, what is connection really? And we talked about the truth that connection is not just about being around others. It is about being present with yourself and safe enough to stay real in relationship. Tonight, we are taking the next step, because once we begin talking about connection, a very honest question comes up. Why does connection feel so hard? Why can it feel so hard to trust? Why can it feel so hard to open? Why can it feel hard to receive love, support, care, attention, or closeness? And why can you want connection deeply and still pull away from it? These, my friends, are important questions. And I want to say this with so much tenderness. If connection feels hard for you, that does not mean you are failing. It does not mean you are cold. It does not mean you are too much or not enough. It often means your system learned something about connection that made closeness feel risky. So tonight is about understanding that difficulty with connection is often not a character flaw. It is often an adaptive response. And that awareness can help us heal with much more compassion. Connection feels hard when the body and mind do not fully experience closeness as safe. You may consciously want love, support, friendship, partnership, community, or emotional intimacy, but another part of you may be may still be bracing. That inner bracing can come from many things: past hurt, inconsistency, betrayal, emotional neglect, criticism, disappointment, rejection, overexposure, or environments where your needs were not safe to express. When those things happen, the system learns to stay guarded. It learns, do not trust too quickly, do not need too much, do not reveal too much, do not depend, do not expect consistency, do not be too visible, and do not let people get too close. These lessons may not always be conscious, but they shape the way we move through connection. This is why a person can deeply want closeness and still overthink, withdraw, shut down, overgive, avoid vulnerability, stay hyper independent, become anxious when someone gets close, and feel suspicious of good things. Connection feels hard not because you do not want it, but because some part of you learned to equalize it, to equate it with risk. That is where healing begins, my friends, not by pushing past it, but by understanding it. And now let's get into our learning points. Learning point number 1, past experiences shape present connection. We do not enter relationships and connection as blank slates. We bring our history. We bring what we learned about closeness, availability, trust, being seen, asking for help, expressing emotion, having needs, and being disappointed. If your experiences taught you that closeness comes with pain, then of course your body may hesitate even when your heart wants connection. This is not irrational. It is learned. And one of the most healing things you can do is to stop expecting yourself to respond as though your history had no impact. Your patterns make sense in light of what you have lived. That does not mean you are stuck in them forever, but it does mean healing begins with honesty. Learning point number 2, emotional exposure can feel like danger. Let's talk about this a little bit. To connect means at some level to be seen, and to be seen can feel vulnerable. For people who have been judged, dismissed, mocked, ignored, misunderstood, or emotionally mishandled, being seen may not feel freeing. It may feel dangerous. This is why some people fear honest conversation, asking for what they need, telling the truth about how they feel, letting others know they care, receiving support, and depending on anyone. To someone on the outside, it may look like self-sabotage, but from the inside, it often feels like protection. The body may interpret emotional exposure as a risk of hurt, shame, abandonment, or disappointment. So it contracts, it hides, it edits, it avoids. Again, not because you are broken, but because your body is trying to protect you from what it has learned is painful. Learning point number 3, trust is built in the body, not just in the mind. This is one of the most important truths in healing work. You cannot think your way into trust if your body does not feel safe. You can tell yourself this person is kind. This should be okay. I should be over this by now. I know better. And still feel your chest tighten, your stomach drop, your mind race, or your impulse to pull away. That is because trust is not only cognitive, it is embodied. Trust grows through repeated experiences of safety, steadiness, non-judgment, consistency, emotional permission, and repair when things go wrong. That is why trust takes time. It is not a switch, my friends. It is not a lecture. It is not a demand. It is a physiological settling. And when you understand that, you become less likely to shame yourself for not being ready before your body actually is. Learning point number 4. Overgiving is often an attempt to secure connection. Some people cope with the fear of losing connection by becoming indispensable. They overgive, they overhelp, they overexplain, or overfunction. They become the reliable one, the strong one, the one who always shows up. Why? Because somehow inside there may be a belief: if I am useful enough, I will not be left. If I keep everyone okay, I will stay connected. If I do enough, I will be valued. This is not real connection. This is often a strategy for safety, and it can lead to exhaustion, resentment, depletion, and feeling deeply unseen, because people may receive what you do without ever meeting who you are. Healing invites us to ask, am I connecting or am I securing my place through usefulness? That question can be life-changing. And learning point number 5, avoidance is protection, not failure. When connection feels hard, some people do not overgive. They withdraw. They stay distant. They go quiet. They self-isolate. They detach emotionally. They tell themselves they do not need anyone. But underneath that may be fear. Fear of depending, fear of rejection, fear of disappointment, fear of being misunderstood, and fear of emotional overwhelm. Avoidance is often misunderstood as not caring, but often it is protection. If you learn that closeness overwhelms you, costs you, or destabilizes you, then distance may feel like self-preservation. Healing is not about shaming that. It is about understanding it and slowly building enough safety that connection becomes less threatening. Let's talk about some real life examples. You want to text someone back, but you overthink every word. That may be fear of emotional exposure. Next, someone offers support, and instead of receiving it, you say, I'm fine. That may be protection. You care deeply about people, but when they get too emotionally close, you feel the urge to pull away. That may be your system trying to manage vulnerability. You may do everything for others, but rarely say what you need. That may be overgiving as a strategy for connection. In the last example, you feel lonely, but when there is an opportunity for closeness, you avoid it. That may be the conflict between desire and fear. Now let's look at this, my friends, from the power of 3 perspective and integrate this. In energy medicine, difficult connection can show up as protective contraction. Your energy field may become tighter, smaller, or more defended when connection feels risky. This can look like emotional guardedness, fatigue after interactions, feeling closed, difficulty receiving, tension around the heart, chest, or throat area. Healing is not about forcing openness. It is about creating enough internal safety that the system no longer needs as much contraction. When the body feels safer, energy can move with more ease. This is why energy healing is so important, and working with energy and knowing how to work with energy and gaining support and guidance in working with your energy is so important. Next, from an Ayurveda inspired living perspective, from an Ayurvedic lens, difficulty with connection can be connected to instability in the system, especially through Vata-like patterns. So Vata-type patterns are anxiety, overthinking, fear, restlessness, sensitivity, inconsistency, and nervous depletion. When the system is overstimulated or depleted, connection can feel harder because there's not enough inner steadiness to stay present. Warmth, nourishment, grounding, rhythm, and consistent supportive ritual can all help rebuild the internal environment needed for connection. Now remember, we all have the 3 body types within us. It's our body makeup. But each one impacts us in different ways. So when we are out of alignment, or when something is heightened or out of balance, then any one of the body types, Vata, Pitta, or Kapha, can create different patterns. I just gave you one, the Vata type, because it is so common. In herbal wisdom reminds us that the body often needs support around calming the nerves, reducing tension, easing overwhelm, supporting mood, and helping the system settle enough to receive care. This matters because connection is not just about emotional willingness, it is also physiological capacity. A person may deeply want connection, but still be too depleted, overstimulated, or defended to experience it fully. Plants and supportive ritual can help create a gentler bridge back. Now, my friends, let's talk about our essential oil spotlight. Let me get the screen shared in front of you. And here we go. Tonight's essential oil spotlight is frankincense from doTERRA. Frankincense is a beautiful oil to pair with this teaching because it is often associated with grounding, centering, inner stillness, and a deeper sense of rootedness. Some of the benefits of frankincense: it supports grounding, encourages emotional steadiness, can help create a calming atmosphere, supports reflection and inner anchoring. It's often used when someone wants to feel more centered and present. Frankincense fits tonight's message because when connection feels hard, what we often need is not pressure. We need anchoring. We need something that says, come back to yourself, slow down, breathe. You do not have to rush trust. You do not have to force openness. You can become grounded first. Frankincense supports the kind of inner steadiness that makes connection feel less overwhelming. This is powerful because when the body is anchored, it is less likely to be thrown into fear so quickly. And frankincense is known as the king of all oils. It has so many more benefits than I talked about here, but just try it. You can get it through the link in the description or in the first comment. Now let's talk about our functional support spotlight, Agara Café and Matcha Agara. Tonight's connection to Agara Café and Matcha Agara is this. When connection feels hard, people are often dealing with more than emotion. They may also be dealing with mental fog, fatigue, overwhelm, low capacity, scattered attention, and difficulty staying present. That matters because it is hard to connect when your system feels all over the place. Agara Café and Matcha Agara can support a more functional daily rhythm by offering support for focus, steady energy, mental clarity, daily ritual, and calm productivity. And that matters in healing because a more supported system often has more capacity for emotional presence. We do not just need emotional insight, we often need practical support that helps us show up more fully in life. Agara Café in the morning or Matcha Agara as a tea-based option are two functional coffee and tea blends that can become a part of a ritual of steadiness, and steadiness helps support connection. I have been on this for the past 3 weeks, and it has been a game changer. I have had so many positive outcomes, from focus to pain management. No medical claims there. I'm just giving you my experience. To more balanced mood, more balanced energy, metabolic effects, my digestion and metabolism, just so many things. If you want to try it, just go to the link in the description. I do 5-day sample packs, and I have one for you. So check it out. Now let's get back. Let me get the screen off. Okay. Gosh darn it, happens every time. Here we go, stop. Okay, thank you for being patient with me. Now, as always, our reflection journal questions. If you have not started journaling, my friends, do yourself a big favor. Start journaling at least one day a week for 5-10 minutes. Reflection question number 1. What about connection feels hard for me? Reflection question number 2. Do I tend to overgive, withdraw, or do both? Number 3, what have I learned about trust from my life experiences? Number 4, what happens in me when someone gets emotionally close? And number 5, where do I confuse guarding with strength? And I've added a 6th one on this week. What helps me feel anchored enough to remain present? If connection feels hard, you do not need to shame yourself. You need to understand. You need tenderness. You need to remember that your patterns may have once been intelligent responses to what your system experienced. And healing is not about ripping these protections away. It is about slowly building enough safety that they do not need to run your life anymore. That is the work. That is the invitation. I invite you today to Evolve Global 22's Healing Circle on Patreon. If this teaching is helping you and you want to go deeper, I invite you to join. It is only $7.99 a month. We go deeper and there's more support. You can explore. You can also explore Evolve Global 22's Healing Boutique for curated supports, including products like I showed tonight that connected to the healing journey we are building together. And if this is something brand new, if you are looking for a pathway that connects wellness, lifestyle, and possibility for income, you can also explore aligned income with me. Healing lives here, my friends, and wholeness lives within you. I will see you in the circle. Good day, everybody. I had something that I wanted to come on and share with you. I want to do a functional coffee comparison, comparing Agara Café versus Rise versus Four Sigmatic. I want to compare Agara Café, which is the functional coffee I use and I'm an ambassador for, to the top 2 most common competitors. So today we're going to explore something that's become very popular in the wellness world, functional coffee. You may have seen products like Rise, Mushroom Coffee, or Four Sigmatic appearing everywhere online. These products promise calmer energy, better focus, and wellness benefits beyond regular coffee. But today, my friends, I want to look at these products through a slightly different lens, the holistic philosophy. I teach through Evolve Global 22, meeting the whole body, dealing with the whole body, mind, soul, and spirit. Instead of asking simply which coffee is trending, we ask a deeper question at Evolve Global 22. Does this product support the whole system of the body? So today we'll compare Rise, Four Sigmatic, and Agara Café through that perspective. Over the past several years, functional coffee has become one of the fastest growing wellness trends. Instead of simply drinking coffee for caffeine, people are looking for ways that their daily rituals can support their health, which is a good thing. Many people want energy without jitters. They want focus without overstimulation. And they want products that support long-term wellness. This is where mushroom coffee and functional coffee blends entered the market. Mushroom coffee blends combine traditional coffee with medicinal mushrooms. These mushrooms have been used in traditional healing systems for centuries. For example, lion's mane is often associated with cognitive support. Reishi is associated with stress resilience, and maybe my pronunciation is a little bit off, but that's beside the point. Cordyceps had been connected to energy and endurance. This idea of combining mushrooms with coffee is what made brands like Rise and Four Sigmatic so popular. One thing I've observed over many years in the wellness space, trends often focus on a single ingredient and where the hype is. One superfood, one herb, one mushroom, but the human body does not function in isolated systems. Your brain function affects your metabolism. Your metabolism affects your energy. Your mood affects your nervous system. When we look at wellness through a systems lens, we begin asking better questions. At Evolve Global 22, I teach something called the power of three. This philosophy recognizes that wellness is strongest when multiple systems are supported simultaneously. Energy medicine focuses on how the body regulates stress and energy. Ayurveda-inspired living looks at how daily rhythms and metabolism influence health. Herbal wisdom recognizes the role of plants in supporting the body gently over time. When a wellness product aligns with multiple systems, it often creates a more balanced experience. So let's take a look at Rise. Rise is currently one of the most viral mushroom coffee blends online. Its formula includes 6 direct medicinal mushrooms. These mushrooms are associated with cognitive support, immune health, and stress resilience. Rise also includes MCT oil and coconut milk powder. The philosophy behind Rise is primarily focused on delivering the benefits of medicinal mushrooms in a coffee format. Four Sigmatic is actually one of the original companies that popularized mushroom coffee. Their focus coffee includes lion's mane and chaga mushrooms along with organic coffee. Lion's mane, again, is associated with cognitive clarity. Chaga is often recognized for its antioxidant compounds. Four Sigmatic typically has a taste profile that is closer to traditional coffee. Now let's talk about Agara Café. It takes a slightly different approach from traditional mushroom coffee blends. Instead of focusing only on mushrooms, the formula includes ingredients that support several systems simultaneously. Lion's mane supports mental clarity. L-theanine helps create calm focus alongside caffeine. Green coffee and chromium support metabolic balance. Saffron has long been associated with mood balance, and lotus leaf has been used traditionally for gentle detox support. The philosophy is to support energy, mood, focus, and metabolism together simultaneously. When we compare these products, we see 3 different design philosophies. Rise focuses heavily on the number of medicinal mushrooms. Four Sigmatic focuses on simpler coffee plus a mushroom approach. Agara Café attempts to support multiple systems simultaneously through a broader functional formula. Each approach reflects a different philosophy about wellness. Many people turn to functional coffee because of how they experience traditional coffee. Regular coffee can sometimes create a sharp spike in energy followed by a crash. Functional blends attempt to smooth that experience. Ingredients like mushrooms, adaptogens, or calming compounds such as L-theanine may support a more balanced energy experience. From my perspective as someone working in holistic healing, I look for products that recognize the interconnected nature of the body. When a formula supports focus, metabolism, mood, and energy together, it is often closer to how traditional healing systems approach wellness. This broader perspective is one of the reasons Agara Café caught my attention. If you are curious about functional coffee, the best way to understand it is to try it and see how your body responds. I personally enjoy using Agara Café as part of my morning routine. I offer a 5-day sample pack for those who want to experience it themselves. Each sample mixes with 8 ounces of boiling water, and you can add whatever you normally add to your coffee. You can also brew it using a coffee maker or French press, and you can drink it iced or hot. I added this to my morning ritual because it addresses the whole body. And I was so convinced and had such good outcomes that I became an ambassador. So I want you to consider the information I provided you here and reach out and get your sample pack, because just try it. It'll be the best thing you ever did for you. This is Dr. Debbie from Evolve Global 22. Healing Light Studio and Healing Circle. Peace, love, and light to every one of you. Take care. Have a great day ahead. This is not self-help. This is healing. Body, nervous system, wholeness. Energy medicine, Ayurveda-inspired living, herbal wisdom. Learn, heal, and be together. Wholeness isn't fixing, it's integrating. Evolve Global 22's Healing Light Studio. Understanding begins here. Healing happens here. Wholeness lives within you. Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome back. This week, we are moving carefully and intentionally through the subject of connection. On Monday, we asked, what is connection really? On Tuesday, we explored, why does connection feel hard? And tonight, my friends, we are going deeper into a distinction that can be incredibly healing: connection versus attachment. These two can feel very similar on the surface, but they are not the same. And many people have never been taught the difference. Sometimes what we call connection is actually fear. Sometimes what we call love is actually dependency. Sometimes what we call closeness is actually anxiety, control, or over-identification. So tonight, my friends, I want us to slow down and talk about the difference. Not to judge ourselves, not to label ourselves, but to become more honest and more free. Because healing is not about just having people in your life. It is about learning how to be with the people in a way that does not require self-loss. Attachment says, I need this in order to feel okay. Connection says, I choose this from a grounded sense of self. Attachment often comes from fear: fear of loss, fear of abandonment, fear of being alone, and fear of not mattering, or fear of not being chosen. Connection comes from presence. Attachment clings, connection relates. Attachment tries to secure certainty, connection allows truth. Attachment often says, stay close so I can feel safe, while connection says, I want closeness, but I do not have to disappear to create it. This distinction matters because a lot of people think they are deeply connected, when in reality they are over-attached, over-dependent, enmeshed, emotionally fused, terrified of distance, and unable to stay steady when the other person shifts. This does not mean the love is fake. It means fear may be mixed into the bond. Healing invites us into a different kind of relationship, one where closeness does not require collapse. And here, my friends, are the 5 learning points for tonight. Number 1, attachment is often driven by fear, connection by presence. Attachment often begins with anxiety. It asks, will you leave? Do I matter? Am I enough? Will I still be okay if you pull back? How do I keep this from changing? This creates urgency, a hyper focus, emotional dependence. Connection is different. Connection does not mean you do not care deeply. It means you are able to remain more rooted in yourself while caring. Connection allows you to love without gripping, to care without controlling, and to be close without becoming consumed. That, my friends, is freedom. Learning point number 2, attachment can lose self, connection keeps self. In attachment-based relating, it is easy to lose your center. You begin organizing around the other person, their mood, their availability, their approval, their distance, their reaction, their needs. Your internal world becomes shaped by their movement. That, my friends, is exhausting. Connection does not ask you to disappear. It lets you remain connected to your body, your truth, your needs, your boundaries, your identity. You can love deeply and still remain whole. That is healthy connection. Learning point number 3, attachment often interprets space as rejection. If someone pulls back, gets quiet, needs time, or has limits, attachment may panic. It may assume something is wrong. I did something wrong. I am being abandoned. I need to fix this immediately. I need more reassurance right now. Connection has more room. Connection can say, we can have space and still care. We can have individuality and still be close. We can breathe without the bond disappearing. That does not mean space is always easy. It means it becomes less threatening when you are not using closeness as your only source of stability. Learning point number 4, attachment clings to certainty. Connection tolerates reality. Attachment wants guarantees. It wants to know, are we okay? Are you still here? Are you upset? Is this changing? What does this mean? Do I still matter? Connection can tolerate more uncertainty. It is not because it does not care. It is because it has more internal ground. Healthy connection allows nuance, complexity, changing emotions, imperfection, pauses, growth, and honest reality. Attachment often tries to force reassurance. Connection, my friends, builds trust in what is true. And learning point number 5, healing lets attachment patterns soften into connection. This is the hopeful part. If you recognize attachment patterns in yourself, it does not mean you are doomed. It means you are human. And it means some part of you has been trying very hard to secure love, safety, and belonging. Healing helps those patterns soften. It helps you stay more grounded in yourself, become less reactive to distance, notice when fear is driving closeness, build boundaries that support honesty, move from neediness to relational steadiness, and choose connection instead of clinging. This is not about becoming detached. It is about becoming more rooted. Let's think about some real life examples here. The first one, you keep checking your phone because someone has not responded and you feel yourself spiraling. You may be this may be attachment activated by uncertainty. The next example, you feel responsible for someone else's emotional state and cannot relax unless they are okay. That may be attachment through over-identification. Example number 3, you are close to someone, but you still know who you are, what you feel, and what you need. That is more aligned with connection. In the last one, you can miss someone without collapsing. You can care without chasing. You can love without losing yourself. That is an example of healing. So let's talk about this from the power of 3 perspective and integrate this a little bit. From energy medicine, From this perspective, attachment often creates energetic entanglement. Your energy becomes overly hooked into another person's movements, moods, or responses. Basically, their energy. This can leave you feeling drained, unstable, hyper aware, emotionally flooded, and unable to come back to center. Connection, by contrast, allows energetic exchange without energetic collapse or energetic entanglement. There is flow, but there is also containment. There is openness, but there is also selfhood. Healing in energy terms means learning how to stay open without becoming porous to the point of depletion. From an Ayurvedic inspired living perspective, in Ayurvedic language, attachment patterns may become more intense when the system is unstable, overstimulated, or depleted. For example, and I always use Vata because Vata is very easily a kind of a troublemaker if things are not in alignment for all the doshas. So when Vata is high, there may be anxiety, fear, mental looping, insecurity, inconsistency, emotional overreaction to uncertainty. That can make attachment feel more intense because the person does not feel steady internally. Grounding practices, warm nourishment, rhythm, and emotional steadiness can support a healthier experience of connection. From an herbal wisdom perspective, we are reminded that soothing the nervous system can support relational healing. When the body is tense, fearful, or depleted, attachment patterns often intensify. Supportive plant allies that calm, uplift, or steady the system may help reduce the internal chaos that feels clinging, panic, or overdependence. Again, this is why healing is not only mental. The body matters, the system matters, and daily supports matter. Tonight, for our essential oil spotlight, we have, and I want to share my screen with you. Whoops. We have wild orange. Such a beautiful, lovely oil. So tonight's spotlight is wild orange. Wild orange is often appreciated for its uplifting, brightening, and emotionally encouraging qualities. The benefits of wild orange are it uplifts mood, energizes in a gentle way. It can support a sense of brightness and warmth. It helps create a more open emotional atmosphere. It's often used when someone feels heavy, flat, or closed in. Wild orange connects beautifully to tonight's teaching because attachment often makes connection feel heavy, urgent, or fear-based. Wild orange brings in a different energy. It reminds us that connection can also feel warm, open, life-giving, light-filled. Wild orange supports the emotional openness that helps us move from fear-based attachment toward a more grounded connection. This matters, my friends, because healing is not only about calming down. Sometimes it is also about inviting warmth back in. So now let's go to our functional support spotlight. And that, my friends, is right here. Give me a second. Forgive me. There we go. So Agara Café and Matcha Agara. Tonight's Agara Café and Matcha Agara connection is about steadiness and emotional clarity. When attachment patterns are active, many people feel mentally preoccupied, emotionally reactive, unable to focus, physically tense, pulled into overthinking. That can affect everyday life in a real way. Agara Café and Matcha Agara can fit here as supportive rituals that help bring more clarity, more focus, more consistency, more calm engagement with the day. That kind of support can matter because it helps create a little more internal room. And internal room helps people respond more intentionally rather than reactively. The more supported and steady your daily system feels, the easier it becomes to move from gripping into grounding presence. And now, as always, my friends, we have our now what has become our 6 reflection journal questions. Number 1, do I tend to connect from presence or from fear? Number 2, what happens inside me when someone needs space? Number 3, do I lose myself in closeness? Number 4, how much of my emotional state depends on someone else's behavior? Number 5, what would more grounded connection look like for me? And the last one, what helps me return to myself? My friends, tonight's invitation is not to judge the places where attachment lives in you. It is to understand them, because attachment patterns usually begin as attempts to secure love and reduce fear. That deserves compassion. But healing invites us towards something deeper, connection that does not require collapse, love that does not require losing self, closeness that can breathe. That is what we are growing into. Now, tonight, my friends, I invite you to up your healing journey by joining Evolve Global 22's Healing Circle on Patreon. If this conversation tonight touched you, met you in your journey, this space speaks to you, and you're looking for a deeper place to land, I invite you to join us inside our healing circle. It's only $7.99 a month. The link is in the description and in the first comment. Also, get your spotlighted oil, wild orange. And then you can try Agara Café. I do encourage you to explore using the link provided. Also, look at Evolve Global 22's Healing Boutique. That is where all of our curated supportive tools and products are to connect directly to the work that we're doing here. It helps bring healing into the daily life of everyone. Visit our boutique. And then explore Evolve Global 22 as a whole. You can go to our website, which is www.evolveglobal22usa.com. And if you're in a season where you're not only seeking healing, but also looking for a path toward more stability and aligned income, there's a space here as well. I'm so excited about this. I just created this last week. We explore our aligned income pathways. This is for the person who feels drawn to wellness, lifestyle, and building something meaningful while staying connected to healing and purpose. Explore an aligned income opportunity for you. The link is here in the description and in the first comment. And with that, my friends, please stay safe. Peace, love, and light to every one of you. I love you all, and I will see you in the circle. This is not self-help. This is healing. Body, nervous system, wholeness. Energy medicine, Ayurveda-inspired living, herbal wisdom. Learn, heal, and be together. Wholeness isn't fixing, it's integrating. Evolve Global 22's Healing Light Studio. Understanding begins here. Healing happens here. Wholeness lives within you. Hello, everybody. Good evening. This is Evolve Global 22's Healing Light Studio with our Healing Circle. And I have a couple of updates I want to let you know about. Things are moving fast and furious here. And I thank all of you who have joined joined the Healing Circle. And I always take feedback, and I'm always making it better, hopefully. So this week, if you noticed, I added an essential oil, doTERRA essential oil spotlight. It connects one support system that I have used for decades. And now I use exclusively doTERRA just because they are of the highest quality. And the outcomes are phenomenal. The science is behind it. I can track the oils. I know where they're sourced, etc. So I've added that this week. Another thing is Thursdays, we are going to do the combined topics that I normally would do Thursday and Friday. And then Friday's live stream is going to be a replay of each learning circle in one shot in case you missed the week. I had feedback that said that would be very, very nice. So that's going to happen starting this week. So let's get into this today. So today's healing circle is reconnecting with yourself and becoming someone who can connect safely. Welcome again, everyone. Great things are happening here. I appreciate you being here and spending this moment with me. Tonight is a beautiful moment in our healing circle. We are bringing together the final piece of this week's work around connection in our framework Become. This week, we explored what connection really is, why connection can feel hard, and the difference between connection and attachment. And tonight, my friends, we bring it all together because healing is not just about understanding. It is about becoming more connected with yourself and becoming someone who can connect safely with others. Not perfectly, but more honestly, more steadily, more truthfully. Let's arrive gently in that space. Now, many people are trying to create better relationships while still being disconnected from themselves. They are saying yes when they mean no, ignoring their own needs, pushing through exhaustion, silencing their emotions, and staying available instead of staying honest. And then wondering why connection feels draining, confusing, one sided, overwhelming, or unfulfilling. Here, my friends, is the truth. You cannot build safe connections externally while abandoning yourself internally. So healing begins here, not with fixing relationships, but with returning to yourself. And from that place, learning how to connect in a safer, more grounded way. So let's get right into this with our 5 learning points. Learning point number 1, self-connection is the foundation of all connection. Let me say that again. Self-connection is the foundation of all connection. If you are not connected to yourself, you will override your needs, ignore your signals, lose your voice, give too much, stay too long, and accept what doesn't feel right. Self-connection sounds simple, but it's powerful. I can hear myself, I can feel myself, I can notice what is true to me. Without that, connection becomes performance. With that, connection becomes real. Learning point number 2, your needs and emotions are guidance, not problems. Your needs and emotions are guidance, not problems. Many of us were taught don't be too much, don't need too much, don't feel too much. So we learn to disconnect from ourselves. But your emotions and needs are not interruptions, they are signals. They tell you something matters, something needs care, something feels off, something is asking for attention. When you ignore them, you disconnect. When you listen, you begin to reconnect. Learning point number 3, slowing down is how you return to yourself. Disconnection thrives in speed. When you are constantly doing, helping, fixing, or moving, you lose contact with you. Reconnection is often very simple. It looks like pausing, noticing, checking in, and allowing awareness. You don't need to overhaul your life. You just begin returning. Learning point number 4, safe connection grows from safety, not pressure. Many people are trying to force connection. They overgive, overshare, rush closeness, push trust, and ignore discomfort. But pressure does not create connection. Safety does. That means pacing matters, honesty matters, boundaries matter, and emotional safety matters. You don't have to rush connection. You can build it. Learning point number 5, you are becoming someone who can connect differently. This is the heart of tonight. Healing is not just awareness, it is becoming and connecting through connecting with you. Becoming someone who stays present longer, notices patterns sooner, honors their needs, speaks more honestly, connects without losing themselves, and receives without collapsing. You are not starting over, you are evolving. In real life, you pause before saying yes. That's a real life integration of this concept. You pause before saying yes. You check if it feels true. You notice when you are overwhelmed instead of pushing through. You recognize when you are overgiving. You allow yourself to receive support. You begin to feel the difference between connection and exhaustion. These are not small things. These are signs of healing. So now let's look at this through the lens of the power of 3. In energy medicine, when you reconnect with yourself, your energy begins to return inward instead of being pulled outward into people pleasing, overgiving, attachment, and constant availability. You become more centered, more grounded, more contained. Connection becomes more balanced instead of draining. Through an Ayurveda inspired living perspective, connection becomes easier when your system is supported, when you are grounded instead of scattered, nourished instead of depleted, steady instead of overwhelmed. You have more capacity to stay present, respond instead of react, and build connection slowly. Internal balance supports external connection. Through an herbal wisdom perspective, the body needs support to soften. When the system is tense, overwhelmed, and depleted, connection can feel like too much. Supportive plant-based tools help calm the nervous system, support emotional steadiness, and create conditions where connection feels safer. Healing is whole body. Now, remember this week we spotlighted 3 essential oils by doTERRA. Tonight, we bring together the 3 oils we highlighted. Lavender is calming, supports relaxation, eases emotional tension, promotes a sense of safety. It's a connection tie-in. Connection begins when the body can soften. Lavender helps shift from defense into openness. Excuse me. Frankincense, the king of all oils, is grounding, centering, supports emotional steadiness, encourages inner anchoring. The tie-in here to connection is you cannot connect safely if you are not anchored. Frankincense brings you back to yourself. Then we talked about wild orange. Wild orange is uplifting, supports emotional warmth, encourages openness, and brightens mood. Our connection tie-in here is connection is not just safe, it can also feel warm and life-giving. Wild orange helps open the emotional space for that. So You soften with lavender, you anchor with frankincense, and you open with wild orange. This is the pathway of connection. Now let's talk about our functional support. Agara Café and Matcha Agara, our functional coffee blend, and our functional matcha tea blend. Everything, everything we talked about this week requires one thing: capacity. It is hard to stay present, feel your emotions, reconnect with yourself, build safer relationships when you feel exhausted, foggy, overwhelmed, and scattered. Agara Cafe and Matcha Agara support mental clarity, steady energy, calm focus, and daily rhythm. And that matters because healing is not just about insight. It is about having the capacity to live what you are learning. These become part of a daily ritual that supports presence, awareness, and consistency. Now, as always, if you have not begun journaling yet, please do. Here are your reflection journaling questions. And I upped it this week to 6. Where am I reconnecting with myself? Number 2, what patterns am I starting to notice in connection? Number 3, where do I still override myself? Number 4, what helps me feel grounded and present? Number 5, what kind of connection am I becoming capable of? And number 6, my friends, what is one small way I can stay with myself this week? This week was not about fixing connection. It was about understanding it and beginning to shift it. You are not broken. You have been adapting. And now you, my friend, are becoming someone who can stay present, can stay honest, can stay connected to self, can build connection without losing self. This is not rushed. This is built. And every moment of awareness matters. Before we close, here are a few ways that you can continue. If my work and this work we do here together reaches you and you want to go deeper, join our healing circle on Patreon. It's only $7.99 a month. We go deeper into the teachings. There's more support and guidance and ongoing healing through various practices. Visit our Evolve Global 22 Healing Boutique. Explore oils, blends, and tools that support your healing in real life. And if you feel called, there's a pathway to build wellness, lifestyle, and income alignment. Explore that on our website through Aligned Income Opportunities. And remember, everyone, healing lives here. Wholeness lives within you. I will see you in the circle.